Right, welcome back folks. It's been a while. I know I've had quite a lot of people asking me what's going on after the last video. I can only apologise. I've just been that busy at work, sorting some other stuff out. The weather up here has been absolutely terrible. Obviously you can still see there's quite a lot of snow around. So yeah, I've just not been able to get on the bike for a week or two. But yeah, we're back out. Obviously you can see the KTM's back. So yeah, it's just a quick little update for you really. I've just been out and had some breakfast. Since I got the bike back, I've done, I don't know, maybe 300-400 miles on it, not had a problem. The service I got at Triple D, can't really fault it. Nice and friendly, a good bunch. I had my service done at the same time. Because I had some warranty work done, which meant KTM were paying towards a bill, cut my service bill down because otherwise they'd be getting paid twice to do the same job, stripping the bike down to get certain things. So yeah. So service wise, so my bike now has done 20,000 miles I think, give or take. 19,922 miles currently. So the bike went in for the big service with a valve check. Turn my gloves on actually, I'm bloody cold. Valve check and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, bike went in for the big service, had its valve checked, brake fluid change, oil change, you know, all the usual stuff. Come out with no advisories whatsoever. Still on the original chain and sprockets. It changed, stretched a little bit, but they said nothing to worry about. So, you know, keep anything like that clean, keep it lubricated, keep the tension set right, and they'll last. But the big one, I know everyone's come back looking at this video, is what was causing the engine failure. So if you go back, if you've not seen it, go back and look at my last video. My bike would just keep randomly cutting out. It seemed to do it more, or I figured out it was doing it more if I went over 5,000 RPM. The electrics would stay on, the engine would just shut down. It got to the point where it wouldn't actually restart. I had to disconnect the battery, wait, I don't know, 10 minutes, give or take, reconnect everything, and it'd fire up. I'd try and set off, it'd shut down again. So that was on my way to drop it off at the dealers when this fault started, but it was just getting worse and worse. It'd usually take maybe half an hour to get to them, but it took me the better part of 2 hours to get there, just because obviously it kept cutting out, and then if it wasn't cutting out, basically I couldn't go over 30 mile an hour. And then towards the end, if you managed to watch it all the way through, even doing that became a hassle. It cut out a couple of times in town traffic, probably not even doing 30. So yeah, it was frustrating, shall we say. To everyone who said they wish they had my patience, it was tested that day, believe me. But anyway, we got there in the end. So obviously I got the bike back. I got a little piece of paper from KTM with my service on there and what had been done under warranty, which as it turned out was a new set of throttle bodies. Now I'd show you this bit of paper but I lost it. I did get an electronic copy sent through from the dealership. I was thinking of going up there, but I think that might be a bad idea. Let's give it a go anyway, eh? So yeah, I lost a bit of paper from the dealership. But yeah, I emailed them and, you know, lost a bit of paper in my invoice, can you send me another one through? Which they did, within minutes as well I might add. This was at like 8 o'clock in the morning when I messaged them. So I really can't fault the service there at Triple D. If you're in the Lake District area, you've got a KTM, I'd recommend at least giving them a call and seeing what they can do for you. Certainly the best service I've had so far from a KTM dealer, without a doubt. Speaking of KTM dealers, there's been quite a few closing recently, I believe. I heard Redline. I'm not sure if they're down in the Midlands sort of way. I heard they've dropped the KTM line, unfortunately. They've got to protect the business, you know, they've got staff to pay and things like that. They're not sure what the future's going to be, so you know, I can't really blame them for doing that. You know, they need to have some sort of stability in the business. It's just a shame it's come to that, but yeah, anyway, I don't want to start the rumour mill going any more than what it already is doing. So yeah, going back to what happened with this, they took it in, put it on test. I thought it was a fuel pump to start with. They got it on the computers, tested the fuel pressure, all that sort of stuff. That was fine. And what it looked like it was when they contacted me a couple of days later was the throttle bodies. They said, so KTM have already agreed, new set of throttle bodies on the way. Just had to wait for them to turn up so they could try them. And yeah, the bike was done in just over a week, something like that, which from dropping it off, diagnosing, getting the parts in, getting it rebuilt, ready to collect, I was quite happy with that. You know, and a lot of people were saying, oh, it's this sensor, it's that sensor, such and such a body's had this and it was this. It wasn't a sensor fault. So what was happening was the motors inside the throttle bodies were failing, and what would happen is that they would essentially put the bike into sort of a limp mode. This is nice, isn't it? Shame them cars are there. So yeah, essentially what was happening when it was shutting down, it was trying to put the bike into a limp mode. He did give me a brief sort of explanation, but he said the motors were failing, and it was, didn't really mean anything to me this, it was putting the throttle bodies into circuit 2, something along them lines, which would then cause the bike to attempt to go into a limp mode, which is when it was shutting down. Hence why, if it went over sort of 5,000 RPM, it had shut off again. It's possibly a safety thing that it didn't want to end up with a sheet ice under there. It didn't want to end up with the throttle bodies stuck wide open, I suppose. So the safest thing the bike thinks it has to do is to just shut them. That's how the email sort of sounded to me. So yeah, that was the long and short of it. It was an electrical fault, I suppose, at the end of the day, but it wasn't like a sensor issue or, you know, one guy, or fuel pump I should say, which is what I thought it was. I mean, one person actually replied with a ridiculous thing that it's because the bike has been dropped, which it has, but that was, when was that, sort of September, July, June, July, August, September time. I dropped the bike in Germany in the Black Forest at about 2 miles an hour, and then the only thing that touched the floor was the left hand pannier. You know, it was a something and nothing, turning round, slow speed, a lot of weight on the bike, so it's not like it was an impact, it's not hit a wall or anything, you know. And I'm sorry, if you're going to design adventure bikes that can't be dropped, so yeah, that one was a bit of a ridiculous statement. I can't remember, I had a few ridiculous things. Someone was saying the bike was in gear, claim, I put my teeth in, it clearly wasn't in gear. Yeah, I had a few out there suggestions, shall we say. Most people saying, oh, buy a GS. You know, people have short memories. GSs haven't always been the most reliable thing on the road. I know several people have had engines swapped, swing arms swapped and things like that due to corrosion. I know a lot of people have had problems with batteries on them failing. I mean, these eat batteries, but every group ride I've been on, it's either been a Harley or a BM that's failed to start. Ducati, people who buy a Ducati, you know, they used to have reliability issues. You know, every can't speak this morning. Every bike brand has had a reliability issue at some point in its life. But anyway, I sort of digress there. So yeah, it's had a new set of throttle bodies, and you know, let's say 300-400 miles I've done now, it has been faultless. It's just took me a long time to get this video out, just because of work and the weather and what have you. But yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. It's not a fault I've heard of before. Certainly not a common fault, I don't think. So yeah, all being well, that's it, because my warranty runs out in about 3 weeks. Yeah, hopefully if anything else goes wrong, it's within that time frame, but I don't think it's going to do. The bike feels absolutely spot on now. Just want to thank everybody, all the new subscribers that have come on board, really appreciate it. And everybody who's commented, liked, shared the video, also really appreciate that as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope that's going to answer all of your questions. If you haven't got any further questions, you know, please by all means send me a message. I just couldn't reply to everybody last time, you know, can't remember now, 400 or 500 comments, something like that. You know, can't reply to every single one of them. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, folks, and I will see you in the next one.